Hey guys, and welcome back to Blaze TV. I'm Ed Kimberley, your host. Stu Cole's not with me today. He's sunning himself in Spain. I must say I'm pretty jealous. But to make up for it, we've got a wonderful guest on the show. New Blaze forward, all the way from Sweden, Kim Tallberg. Kim, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. I really appreciate you giving up some time on what looks like a lovely sunny Swedish evening.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm very happy to be a part of the Blazers, and thank you for hosting me too. And yeah, I'm home now with at my parents' place and spending summer here and practice and prepare myself. So just had a nice dinner in this weather, so it's good.
It's pretty good. To be honest, it's been pretty good over here today as well. But before we really get into talking about you as a player and your career and stuff, because it's been really fun researching you. One thing I did stumble upon while researching you was how to pronounce your name, and I think I've confused quite a lot of people by picking up some bad habits from a couple of different commentators of yours. So help the Blaze fans out. What's the best way to pronounce your name?
You can pronounce it like Tallberg.
Tallberg is fine.
Tallberg, it's the right, yeah. And it's in Sweden, it's Tallberg.
There you go. So
Yeah.
either is fine, but Tallberg I think is it's cool.
Yeah,
We can...
that's good. That's good. Or Tally, you can call me Tally or something like that. They call me that back here, so
it's good to know. It's good to know. Hopefully we
yeah.
get some cool nicknames. Blaze fans are pretty good for songs and nicknames and whatever, and you'll find that out in a few weeks. But I guess we can just jump into talking about your career, really, because I'm a bit of a nerd for this. I like looking up guys, who they've played with, where they've played. And I was looking at your junior career, I mean, even at 17, you're almost playing that step up, right? So you're playing under 20s, you're playing under 18s. You finished that your 17-year-old year, second in the league in points. I mean, I can't imagine a more fun way to start that ladder into senior hockey. Scoring points, playing lots of games. That must have been awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a big key for young players to play a lot of games and have a lot of ice time. And I had a opportunity to play in like 3 teams, like you said. So I get a lot of ice time, and it was not the highest leagues, not even in juniors, but still I get a lot of ice. I could play a lot and score some goals, and so that was a big part to develop the game. So it was a good start.
Yeah, because you start with Oskarshams, didn't you? And then you moved up to D1 with Ninashams, and they were really good to you because in your 18-year-old year, they gave you a shot at Division 1, which is now Hockey Etan, of course. So as an 18-year-old playing with the seniors, that must have been a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, because when I went to the Ninasam, like you said, the A team went up from Division 2 to Division 1, and Division 1 is pretty good here in Sweden. So then I got a shot in there too, and play in all three teams that year. So it was a good bounce off to the senior leagues for sure. So it was a good learning year, and just keep going from there.
Yeah, and you actually also got promoted to Junior 20 Elite as well. And that's some serious junior hockey there, Kim. Well, that must have been a really fun journey to be a part of that season. What was it like being part of that team?
Yeah, it was good. It was we had a pretty good team, and we had a good season, and we was a lot of guys who play both in the A team and in the juniors, and then we qualified up to the elite. Then was the next highest league, so it was pretty good. And then we play in elite the series the year after, so it was a good bounce there too, and always fun to win something and advance up. So a good experience and always fun.
It is, and in that promotion season, I think if I looked up your stats right, in under 20s, you were something like 2 points a game. I mean, that must have been something kind of in your head that you felt ready to start thinking about making that jump to playing pro full time, right? Breaking out of juniors, starting as a senior.
Yeah, it was a good year for me, and I always have the goal to play the goal for myself to play pro, and it was a good start there, and just have the mindset for it and just go and get the opportunities and take advantage of them. So it was for sure a good. There it starts.
Because the Nashams were really good to you. You know, you had an amazing 3 or 4 years. You had some silverware, you had some individual success. With one more year of junior left, you decided to move over to Kumla. What prompted that decision? Because you probably could have stayed another year in Nishams, right? And that'd have been fine. Why the change?
We had in Sweden in Division 1, it's like 4 leagues. It's 4 divisions in Division 1, and that Division 1, like Nynäshamn played in, it's a little bit lower. What can I say? Lower level. It's the same division but lower levels in the,
I
if
got
you
you.
compare south, west, eastern, and that. And then I just felt to okay, we try something new and moved to Kumla. It was a good place for me too to develop again like a person and player. So it was a good move and a little bit better hockey there.
For sure. And you were kind of thinking as well, presumably, okay, I'm playing in Etan, or I think it was might have still been D1 back then because it changed around the time where you were turning pro, right? Were you kind
Yeah,
of thinking,
yeah,
all right, I'm gonna aim up. I want to try and figure out how I can then get to the Allsvenskan. Was that sort of what your
yeah,
thought process was like?
yeah. It's always like to see the ways what gonna fit me well and to improve and get better and better and opportunities to move higher. And it was a step in the right direction for me. And of course, I had the goal all the time to go to Allsvenskan, so it it worked out.
It did work out, didn't it? Because your first few games in Allsvenskan actually, coincidentally, is your first link to the Coventry Blaze because you were coached by Paul Thompson in Troya, and
Yeah,
Paul Thompson coached in Coventry for many years. Um, Firstly, what was it like being coached by Paul as a kid? Because I mean, Paul has coached some super successful teams over in the UK and particularly in Coventry. That must have been cool.
yeah. He was really dedicated into the game, and he was really serious about what he did. And so I have nothing bad to say against Paul for sure. So he's a great coach, and I just had him for a short time, but that
Mm.
little time that I was with him, for sure, it was a good time.
Because we've actually had Paul on the podcast because we've stayed in touch with him. I mean, he's coaching in Denmark now, I think. But
Yeah,
we
yeah,
stayed in. He was really good to us, and you know we've stayed in touch with him. And one of the things he's
yeah,
always talked about is bringing the young kids through and giving them a shot and you know getting them used to life in pro hockey. And you were sort of like that for him, weren't you? You know, he gave you a real good look. And he has so many good things to say about you as well. I think he called you a sponge, and that's a good thing. You soaked everything up, every bit of advice, all the pointers, and apparently you lived in the gym that year. So I guess you
right.
wanted to get out.
I have always liked to prepare myself for the best, and the biggest part of me is the passion for the game. So I always love to be in the rink. You're gonna see me in the rink a lot, and I'm the same kid now. So even then I'm 30 years old, I'm still the same kid I was back then, but in a better version. So
For sure.
yeah, he had good stuff to say about me. I had good stuff to say about him, and I think he was the assistant coach when I was there, and so he didn't have the last word, but still, he's wow, really good for sure.
The thing is, I think some people might, I guess, take it for granted what it's like for an Englishman to go and coach in Sweden because like coaching in Sweden's no joke. Like the
No,
path to getting a coaching certification in Sweden is serious. It's a serious thing. You have exams on it. It's nuts. You have to study for it. So it
yeah,
was a really big deal, actually, wasn't it, that Paul got that job in the first place?
yeah, for sure. Because Allsvenskan is a really respected league too. It's a good league, and that he get the job there is, of course, a bounce for him, and good for him, good for a club to get a person outside the country too with other perspective on stuff. So yeah, for sure, it's good.
That experience becomes invaluable, doesn't it? And I guess from that year of playing in Allsvenskan, you then got loaned to Boras, and that was
Yeah,
a totally different experience because they were battling relegation when you joined. I think they were bottom of the league, if I remember rightly. So
yeah.
bit of a change of scenery, huh?
Yeah, it was the year in Troja was pretty tough for me. I was like the 13th forward or something, didn't get so much ice time. I played some minutes the game, so I needed to get some games in, and then they find a fast solution with this team, and it was around Christmas or something. So like you said, they were struggling then, and but I went in and tried to bring my energy and get my play going. So it was good for me too to get out and play. So it's always in tough times you can develop your character. So I see opportunities in stuff like that too. So it was great.
Yeah, and every experience is good, right? Because like you said a minute ago, the goal is to try and get up to the Allsvenskan. And you had a couple of years where you were kind of bouncing between a Tan and Allsvenskan. You captained Nybro for a little while, which must have been amazing. I mean, captain in the Vikings, wearing a letter is always an honor. But I guess part
Yeah,
of you is thinking, right, how do I stick it in Allsvenskan, right? Even through,
yeah,
having a point a game in Etan and all that.
yeah. It's like you said, I was playing a lot in Division One, and they borrow me in some games and back in Division One and back and forward a little bit. But the time when I really get the opportunity with the same role I had in the Division One, because the most important thing when you get the chance up, that you really get the chance and can play the minutes and show who you are, because it's pretty hard to go in and play like 4 8 minutes a game and show what player you are. So when you get that opportunity, I felt I took advantage of it, and then I had like 2 3 teams to sign, and then I chose Tingsryd, and we went from there. So it was good.
And Tingsryd were, again, almost in a similar way to Ninashams in junior. They were so good to you those couple of years, weren't they? I mean, you got to play a lot of minutes. I mean, even in your rookie year, I think you were was it second on the team in goals as a first year in
Yeah,
the Allsvenskan. That's a heck of an achievement. You must have been really proud.
yeah, it was good. I start the season playing not so much, and but we had a good line who had a role that we shouldn't score and that stuff. We bring some energy, um, and then like after 19 or 20 games, I hadn't scored anything like assist or goal. But then I got the chance to play one game in the uh, higher up in the lineups and play power play and that stuff. And after that game, it's just flew for me. So that was a huge end on the first year in Allsvenskan, and then I start to play from there again. So I took advantage of the opportunity when I get more ice time, and it worked out well. And then just let everything out, and good things will happen. So
Looking back on it, what was the difference between what's the difference in standard between Hockey Etan and Allsvenskan? Because obviously it's progressively better as you go up the ladder. But how different is the divide in, I guess, in ability, speed, and I guess the style of hockey too? I imagine that's a little bit different.
yeah, it's different, but the thing I don't think people really know is that Division One here is actually really good. It's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of good team in the Sweden third league. So like the best players in Division One can for sure play in the Allsvenskan too. But the biggest difference is like in Allsvenskan, it's four like really good lines. Every line is great, and all the 14 teams are really good. So everyone can beat everyone, and a little bit more professional. It's 100% professional in Allsvenskan, and it's like semi-professional in Division One. So it's there is the biggest difference. It's the yeah, overall the players for
Mm.
sure are better.
And the one thing that the elite league, and you'll figure this out when you come over here, that's I guess a little bit different to a lot of other places, is that the regular season is seen as really important. It's almost like soccer. I don't know if you follow the soccer. Um,
Yeah,
as high up the table as you can get is really key. It's not just a case of making the playoffs, but in a way, the Swedish system throughout, even D2 all the way up to the SHL, you have a promotion and a relegation, don't you? So in a
yeah,
way, the regular season is really important as well, because you don't want to find yourself in a relegation battle. So you're used to that style of hockey, right? And that mentality.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a battle in the leagues for, like you said, relegations and promotions, and of course you always looking for the playoffs, and all that stuff. So it's always something to fight against. You can move up, you can move down, and the season can end early. You don't want that either. So it's a lot of fighting there, and it's good for the every game is important from the first one. So it's I think it's great. Yeah.
Because in year two in Tinkerheads, obviously you had quite a lot of success again individually.
Yeah.
I can't remember the stats off the top of my head, but you did very well. But you decided to switch. You moved to Oiko, and I mean they've been around since the 1800s. I think Oiko was founded in 1891, if I remember rightly, something crazy like that. And your
Yeah.
final year in Tinkerheads, they finished third. So with
Yeah.
that switch, were you thinking, all right, I want to try and make the playoffs here. I want to go and try and hunt some silverware?
It was when I signed the AAK, they was in the final that year. So I signed them with a contract, and if they went up to the SHL, I still had the contract. So
Oh,
it
no.
was a two-way deal. So if they went up, I still gonna go there, and if they don't make it, I still gonna go there. So I was sharing for them and everything, but they didn't make it then, and then I just moved there to Allsvenskan, and like you said, it's a pretty big difference. It's bigger. It's a much bigger club and the head town in Sweden. So it was for sure nothing I regret for sure.
No, for sure. They had some difficulties that the couple of years you were there. I don't think maybe they finished as high up the table as you wanted. Was that frustrating? Because you were thinking, this could be a ticket to the SHL, and it didn't quite come together.
Yeah, sometimes it's worked that way, and I went there and had a rough start the first season. It's come my first injury I ever had. It was a knee injury, so I was away for like 2.5 months, and come back, and yeah, so now everything is fine with that injury, so nothing problem there. But that was the first start, so of course that was tough. But then again, a new stuff happened, and see some opportunities again to just deal with it and get stronger. And this team was struggle like all season, but yes, you always learn something and try to use it as a positive you can. So it was a tough hockey year, but still very good for mental stuff, and I get good opportunities there to get better in overall.
Yeah, I think when you have difficult seasons, you learn a lot from that mentally. It makes you tougher, doesn't it? But at the same time, you always want the good times. And last year, you decided, okay, I'm going to go back to Tinkerheads, and where I've been successful. I've scored a good amount of goals. Why did you switch back? What brought that around?
After the years in AAK, I had like a different role there. I didn't play an offense role, had a little bit lower ice time, but still I felt like an important player for the team. So I did everything I could to make stuff yeah, to make stuff happen and to create everything I can for the team and always head up and develop. So and after that season, I felt like I had a good speak with Tingsryd again, and they want me back really bad, and I felt like yeah, they want to put me in the role. I feel I can get the most out of my hockey too. So it wasn't a hard choice. It's a really good club too. So it felt a little bit like home too. It's a small town that means a lot for me. So yeah, it was not a hard choice for me. So it was a good choice.
I get that. I absolutely get that. You can have the prestige of a club, but nothing beats playing 20, 25 minutes a night, being on the power play, having the
Oh,
opportunity to buzz around the net and put the puck in the goal. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can beat that. But a big difference, I guess, between the Allsvenskan and the Elite League is the EIHL, because obviously Swedish Elite League. I don't want to confuse things.
Yeah, yeah,
Is the style of hockey, is the amount of scoring, because I think the Allsvenskan, rightly or wrongly, gets a bit of a reputation of being relatively low scoring, whereas in the Elite League you can have some big scoring games. So when Danny Stewart got on the phone and said, "Hey, do you want to come to Coventry? Do you want to play in the Elite League?" He explained about the style of hockey, explained what the Blaze wanted to do, what your role would be as a goal scorer. Did that just tick a lot of different boxes for you? What was the decision for you to come over here based on?
Right after the season, I said to myself, I really want to go and play in another good league in Europe. And like you said, when Dennis Stewart called me, we had a good talk, and the way he put up stuff and everything, it just felt great. And for sure, I'm gonna go in and be a creative player and score some goals for Blazers. And I just looking forward to it and really excited. And everything he said, it's just felt right it felt right for me. And so I said, yeah, let's do it. So it's gonna be awesome.
Presumably, you follow the Swedish national team as well, right? I think I'd be very surprised if you didn't. Being in the
Yeah.
same division as Great Britain as well, I guess that was probably a driving factor. You see that they're in the top division in the world, and you think, okay, that's a hockey nation. I want to give that a go.
For sure. I know some players who have been in the elite league, and I heard it's like it's good hockey, and people maybe don't understand how good it is. So I want to go there and get my own to say about that. So I
Yeah.
just heard good stuff about the league, and the league is just getting better. And like you said, with the national team, it just they're gonna step it up even more. So yeah, I'm for sure I'm prepared for it. It's gonna be fun, tough, and good hockey. So yeah, it's really good.
Well, you've mentioned you're a guy that likes to score goals, and I think it's quite clear to see from your highlight reel that you like to be in and around the net. How would you describe what you're like as a player, Kim?
My play style is I'm a energy guy with pretty good stick handling. I'm pretty good with the puck and like to drive into the net and score some goals and like to deke a little bit too, deke some goalie and put it in open net. So so it's I'm a pretty all around player. I think Blazers can use me, put me a lot of ice time and in both ends, and for sure my strengths are in the offense. So
Well, we're looking forward to seeing some of that, and it's only going to be a couple of weeks until you're packing your bags and heading over here. What do you got in store between here and now then? Just relaxing at the
for
family's
now,
place by the looks of things.
yeah, I get all inclusive here from my mom, so it I'm happy here. So, but I'm preparing every day. I have good practice facilities here at home, and so I have everything I need to prepare myself, like I have been all the summer. So just from now and then, and it's gonna be the same. Just preparing, waiting for the visa to come back, and then they're gonna book some flights, and then we start. So I really looking forward to it.
There's always something about August for us that I
Yeah,
think just makes things seem real. You know, it's
exactly,
when you can
exactly.
circle a date in the calendar for when the guys are going to arrive. You kind of know when the first couple of preseason games are going to be, and
Yeah,
oh man, I'm really excited to have you come and have spend a year with Coventry, buddy, and I'm glad you're excited too.
yeah, I'm really excited to meet you all there, and we're gonna do something fun and big together. We're gonna go for it for sure.
I spoke to Danny Stewart quite recently, and I saw Dale Keane, the assistant coach, who, by the way, you got to help him practice his Swedish, because I know he was really keen last year. We had a couple of Finnish guys on the team who spoke a little, but you're gonna have to get him some homework, I guess, to keep it up to scratch.
Yeah, I will try him, see what he goes for. Yeah, for sure.
But it's been great chatting to you, Kim. I really appreciate you giving up some time. Blaze fans, it's August. I've just said it. It's about to be real. We're really looking forward to seeing you guys at the rink soon. So for the next few weeks, stay safe, and we'll see you at the Skydome soon. Take care. Bye.